of the cool things about this show, which is Preps Today with John Millea, is that John frequently highlights people who might not otherwise get highlighted, like officials and great teammates who aren't necessarily the stars of their teams. We'll start today's show, Preps Today with John Millea at talknorth.com, with two generations of officials.
Yeah. Hey, Jim. It's good to be back
John.
here with you. It's cold in Minnesota, but what else is new? We'll make it through. Yeah. Two generations of officials. This is a really fun story. And I just had a blast writing this. I drove up to Belgrade, Bruton, El Rosa, which is about an hour west of St. Cloud. I think it was 2.5 hours each way for me. That's no big deal. This was a girls' basketball game, and my focus was on the officials. I couldn't tell you anything about the game. I couldn't tell you who won, but I can tell you who the officials were. It was quite the mix of three male officials, a 63-year-old, a 77-year-old, and an 18-year-old. And the thing is, the 18-year-old is a senior at Fergus Falls High School. His name is Andrew Clennert. The 77-year-old is his grandpa, John Clennert, someone I've known for many years. Everybody calls him JK. He's a high-level, long-experience basketball and football official out of Fergus Falls. I knew that his grandson was in his first year as a certified MSHSL official. You got to be 18. So when Andrew turned 18 last year, that's all it took. And Grandpa's kind of been mentoring him. And John's an interesting guy. He runs a very successful sporting goods company in Fergus Falls, JK Sports. He's a former member of the high school league board of directors. That's how I first got to know him many years ago. He's been officiating basketball for 48 years, and this winter he has the joy of working a few games with his grandson. And the third member of the crew for this game was John Wold. They're all from the Fergus Falls, Underwood area. And, they carpool. And Andrew is in great hands with mentors like those two. He's going to go to college in the fall at the University of North Dakota. He wants to continue to officiate basketball games. I assume he will do what a lot of officials who live on the border of a couple of states do. If he's registered with the Minnesota State High School League and certified, which he is, he will have reciprocity with the North Dakota High School Activities Association. He could work games, on either side of the border once he's up there in Grand Forks. And Andrew, for me, after meeting Andrew and interviewed the three of them, I got there. We had set this up. I got there to the gym long before game time, and the four of us sat in a conference room, had like a 40-minute chat so I could gather information. But I'm looking at this as Andrew, this 18-year-old who's very, very committed to officiating and is very good, is the perfect person to focus on as we just continue to need new officials. He's making good money. For this JV varsity doubleheader at Belgrade, each of these officials was paid $160 for the two games. That's pretty good. Andrew told me he's made upwards of $300 for, officiating at an all-day youth tournament. And he thinks overall he's probably making between $60 to $70 an hour. And that's good money for a high school senior. Yeah. He doesn't interfere with his school day. Not that would bother him. He's a straight A student. I think he told me he's never had anything but an A in high school. And he's been taking college classes already. So by the time he graduates from high school in a few months, he'll already have a year of college credits under his belt. Really, really an interesting situation with grandpa and grandson working together. And you can read about the Clennerts and John Wold if you go to John's journal at MSHSL.org. This story got a lot of great feedback, Jim, as you would imagine.
Yeah, I would imagine that. To reintroduce this show, he's John Millea from the MSHSL. You can read his written work at John's Journal at MSHSL.org. You can listen to his spoken word artistry here at TalkNorth.com, one of our many great shows. When you go to TalkNorth.com, you're going to find something you like. We have all the best specialists, all the best analysts and personalities covering all the different sports, everything from Russo to Krasinski to Millea to Jeff Diamond to Don Mitchell to Kevin Gorg to Roy Smalley and Lavelle Neal. When you find a show you like, please subscribe to your favorite podcast app. It's free. It's the easiest way to listen. We're coming to you from the Aquarius Home Services Studios. We want to thank our longtime sponsor, Pizza Barn in Princeton. That's Jody Stay's operation. A great community organization. They do so much to help students, athletes, officials, everybody involved in local events. They're the perfect sponsor for this podcast, and we do appreciate it. Thank you, Jody. Now let's move on to the next topic, which, not surprisingly, is thank a ref.
Yeah, we're gonna thank a ref who's not from Minnesota. He will never know we're thanking him, but I saw something really spectacular, some video online. This is along the lines of a John Clennert, a longtime official. This happened in Pennsylvania last week. A basketball official named Bernie Makowski. That's a great name. Bernie Makowski worked his final game in a 51-year officiating career. This was a girls' basketball game. And he was surprised late in the game. They caught him off guard. The home team called a timeout. And Bernie, the camera is on Bernie. He's standing on the court, signals for the timeout. And then, the officials wait. They watch the clock. Let's resume. But in the middle of all this, the PA announcer had a script ready thanking Bernie for all his years of dedication. And he got a great big ovation from the crowd. I reposted that video on X. If you want to see it, you might have to go back a ways, but that's how you thank a ref. You do it publicly. And that's why I like writing about officials. It's so easy to forget what they do and how important it is. So Bernie Makowski, high school basketball official in Pennsylvania, thank you.
Cool stuff. All right, let's hear about some coaching news now.
Yeah, one big coaching move in the high school football world just in recent days. Ben Burke has been the head football coach at Lakeville South for a long stretch here and has just done a phenomenal job. That's one of the top football programs in the state. He has become the new head coach at Cretin Durham Hall over in St. Paul, and that's a great hire by Cretin. Ben will do a tremendous job, and I know Ben personally. He used to teach with one of my kids. I've known him for a while. He's just a quality individual, and that's a great hire by Cretin. Big holes at Lakeville South, but they'll be fine too. They got a bunch of great assistant coaches. If that's the route they take, they'll be fine. But good luck to Ben at Cretin Durham Hall. And then some coaches with big milestones this last week. At Alexandria, Wendy Kohler moved into second place on the all-time girls basketball coaching list with victory number 720. That moved her one win ahead of the late Myron Glass of Rochester Lords. The leader is current New London Spicer coach Mike Dreyer. He's got 1,091 wins. That's more than any girls or boys basketball coach. So Wendy's number 2 at 720. I don't think Wendy's going to catch Mike because that 1,091. That's phenomenal. But good on Wendy. She's a super person. I know her. I know Mike. I knew Myron Glass. Good for her to moving into second place. She's going to keep piling up the wins. And back in Lakeville, at Lakeville North, John Oxton is their boys basketball coach. He got his 700th win, only the 6th boys basketball coach to do that. Congrats to all. This is some big stuff.
Great stuff. I don't know John well, but I knew him a little bit when I lived in Lakeville. So congratulations to him. Always ran a classy program. Let me ask you a question. Why does somebody move from Lakeville South to Cretin?
It's a good question. It's like, why would somebody move from one newspaper to another in our world? I don't know. I mean, Cretin is looking to get that football program back up where it was. I think that's part of it. I don't know that Ben has any connections to Cretin. I'm not aware of any. And the news release they put out, I don't think specified anything like that. Sometimes you just want to change. You want a new challenge. Maybe he figures he's taken Lakeville South, as far as he can, and let's turn it over to somebody else. It's a great question, Jim, and I don't know. At some point, I'll see Ben and I'll ask him. But
sure, just curious. I know Lakeville South. Lakeville South has great facilities. They've won a lot, but Cretin can probably offer some things that a public school can't.
Yeah, and maybe he's a teacher too, or maybe he's going to be an administrator. I don't know. There's certainly more to it. When a coach is hired, you're not hired simply as a coach. There's always your main duties. Coaching that's your B job. There's no coach who's making most of their salary coaching.
Right.
So we'll see how that pans out. But I mean, he's a great guy. And if you're looking to revamp your program, he's the guy I think that could do that.
Yeah. All right. Next, we're going to get to theater, skiing. We're going to talk about something that happened last week, and we're going to get to John's most valuable teammate. Right now, though, we do want to thank Pizza Barn in Princeton.
Yeah, it is cold. It is February, and that means the pizza of the month for February. It's the Ragin' Cajun. That'll warm you right up. That starts with the Pizza Barn's homemade crust. They throw on homemade white sauce, Cajun seasoned shrimp, Kaufhold's Cajun cheese curds, mozzarella cheese. They finish it off with a little Cajun seasoning. It's very good. You can get it for dine-in, carry-out, delivery, and take and bake throughout the month. Valentine's Day, this is Valentine's week, and the Pizza Barn will help you out there. They offer Valentine treat boxes, which you can pre-order. You do that right now. We're running out of time. And heart-shaped pizzas, no pizza place is a pizza place if they don't sell heart-shaped pizzas. They've got those at the Pizza Barn. Thanks again to our great friend Jody Stay and everybody at the Pizza Barn in Princeton. More than 4 decades of outstanding service to the community in Princeton and well beyond.
Yep. Thanks again, Jody. Let's get to theater and skiing.
Yeah, that's a rare combination. I don't know if any of our theater kids are also skiers, but that would be something. So we're in the early stages of winter state tournaments. Last week we had the MSHSL one-act play festival in St. Paul, which is always great. The top plays are designated as, quote, starred performances. And this year that honor went to the groups from Belle Plaine, Bagley, Morris area, New Life Academy, Lakeville, South Park, and Hibbing. That's a great honor to come out of the festival with a starred performance. These are judged. There's a group of judges that sit down after every performance. I've been in the room where they sit down. They take this seriously, and they do a great job. So congrats to all the one-act play groups that performed at state. This week we've got 2 state tournaments, 3 depending on how you look at it. Up north in Bowabic at Giants Ridge, we've got the Alpine and Nordic skiing state tournaments. It's super cold up there. There have been some changes to the schedule. There's plenty of snow. That's not a problem. But some of the start times have been delayed just to make it a few degrees warmer for the skiers. And then Friday and Saturday at Target Center, the state dance tournament will be held. This is a wild one with music and cheering and costumes, lots of noise, lots of excitement. Good luck to all the skiers and dancers competing this week.
Cool stuff. I love it when you highlight the off the beaten path sports and activities. Let's do a throwback to last week.
Yeah, on the show last week, Jim, I had some fun. I talked about making a trip to Goodhue and doing as what I always do when I arrive in Goodhue. Stop at the local convenience store, the Country Station, to buy some Diet Mountain Dews for myself and Josh Weemy, who's the girls basketball coach there. We talked about it last week. It's a goofball tradition, years in the making. So after that show was out, I got a text from one of my good friends. Tim Gleason is a band director and a coach at Winona. He texted me a picture of the sign at the Country Station in Goodhue. He was listening to the podcast as he pulled into town. He stopped in at the Country Station. He was headed to the school, and he bought a Diet Mountain Dew for Josh Weemy. So we're flooding Josh with Diet Mountain Dew. That's how I'm seeing this. So that is instant feedback on the podcast. That's pretty good stuff.
I really don't know how you haven't gotten an endorsement. It's the failing of Talk North that we haven't gotten you a Diet Mountain Dew endorsement.
Seal was in a Mountain Dew ad. I wasn't. I don't think that's fair.
And you know what? I think you've had a better decade than Seal.
I think so. I think you may be right. Sorry, Seal.
I'm sure I'm right. You also wouldn't have done that commercial.
That one, that kind of freaked me out.
Yeah, that was a little
creepy.
Yeah. All right, we're going to wrap up this week's show. Once again, thank you to everyone that listens. We appreciate it. If you like the show, tell your friends about it. Spread the word. We do appreciate it. TalkNorth.com continues to grow, and we only grow because people listen. So thank you. Well, let's get to your most valuable teammate this week.
Yeah, this weekly honor that comes through the Minnesota State High School League, the most valuable teammate. We're going to honor Cole Bees, is a senior at East Grand Forks. Cole is a busy guy, football, hockey, golf, an outstanding athlete, a great person. He always has a smile on his face, always puts his teammates first. He's a person you can converse with at length. He always appreciates and acknowledges his teachers. Congratulations to Cole Bees of East Grand Forks on being named a most valuable teammate.
Excellent. Good show. We covered a lot of ground, a lot of interesting stuff this week. Always is, but I love it when you have this kind of variety, everything from theater and skiing to big coaching news. And of course, the most valuable teammate. And of course, John always highlights the work of officials because the games don't take place without the officials. For John Millea, I'm Jim Suhan. This is TalkNorth.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.